104.1 KRBE, a Cumulus media station.
Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the TXU Energy Studio.
The Roula and Ryan Show with producer Eric, Special K, and Sam.
And we are trying to help you save a buck because things are expensive.
Especially dating.
Oh, my goodness. We just talked about last week how I ordered 5 kids' meals, 1 veggie enchilada, and 1 tacos al carbon from a Tex-Mex restaurant that we like. It was $140 with the $6 tip. And I picked it up.
Oh, man.
I gave $6 tip.
Yeah, you didn't even get it delivered. That's crazy.
Because then it would have been like $180.
Yeah.
Probably. Things are very expensive, as you know. Cookie Rookie is a website. Don't y'all know? Don't we all go to Cookie Rookie? Is that like just the regular?
Let's look this up.
Cookie Rookie.
What is this site?
Cookie
That's fun.
and Rookie. It's a popular food website that published a new analysis on the best cities for 2 people to enjoy a 3-course meal at a mid-range restaurant without breaking the bank. Now, here's my problem with the list. And Eric, you're going to tell me when you go to Cookie Rookie if they give you more details.
See what's on here.
They've listed the cities and they've listed the price, but they have not given me an example of a restaurant I can go to for this much money.
Oh, dang.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, because then it's like I would like to go there and try and
So
eat
far, I
that
don't even
food.
see it on here. I just see like
Cookie Rookie.
nacho cheese sauce recipe. Bruschetta chicken pasta.
If I look at this, I'm so hungry.
How to make southern homemade sweet tea. What?
Oh.
You don't need to learn.
You just
You don't
boil
need a
some
recipe.
If you
tea.
need that recipe, then I guess you're not southern then, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So they have deemed which cities are the most affordable based on the criteria I just mentioned for the 3-course meal for 2 people at a mid-range restaurant. So in Houston, Texas, it costs $80 for that. You can spend $80 in a mid-range restaurant for a 3-course meal for 2 people.
Lunchtime, maybe?
And it doesn't say if it's lunch or dinner. It just says it's a meal. And that lands us at number 10 for most affordable city to go out to eat in. Number 10? I don't know.
Who's number 1 then?
Isn't that number 10? Oh, wait, hold on a second, Eric. How are they doing this? Look.
See.
There's
Why
like
does Dallas
5,
also
10.
have a 10?
Oh, that's why they're all tied. Those, yeah, there you go. There's the first 9. Look at 1 through 9.
Oh.
There's like
Oh, my
1,
God.
2,
We
3,
are
4,
all
5,
tied.
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Like 9
6,
of
7,
us.
8, 9. Yes. So we are tied with Dallas, Denver, San Antonio, Nashville, Oklahoma City, Indianapolis, Phoenix, and Jacksonville, and Charlotte. All of us are $80 for 2 people to have a 3-course meal in a mid-range restaurant. The 9th spot, I'm sorry, I said San Antonio, but they are actually number 9. The 8th and the 7th and the 6th, which they all count as number 6, is Vegas, Louisville, and Philly.
Vegas beat us?
$75.
Vegas, so you can get like shrimp.
Really?
Steak and shrimp for like $4.99 at certain places.
Really?
Oh,
When
yeah.
I think of
It's
Vegas,
cheap
I think
buffets.
expensive.
Also, if you go to Old Vegas,
That's
it is definitely cheaper. You can get an
Banyans or Binions or
entire buffet for $20 at the D. There's the big D. Oh, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't miss the D.
What was the cost of the Uber to get there?
Oh, Roula.
That's the problem.
It's about 30 minutes away.
See,
It's kind
no.
of what I remember.
Yeah, is it
But
worth
if
the
you're
money?
staying downtown, if you're staying at Golden Nugget or something.
Who does that?
Number
Even I think it's a
3.
little rough. You know if I think it's a little rough.
Tim, you listening? Come on up. Defend your property.
Your golden nugget. Number 3 on the list for most affordable city for 2 people to have a mid-range restaurant 3-course meal is Memphis, Tennessee. It costs $65 there to do that. El Paso is number 2. It costs $62 to do that. Fun fact, the midway point between Los Angeles, California and Houston, Texas is El Paso.
That's a city I'll
the
never
drive.
ever see in my
No.
Ever.
whole life.
It's too far.
There's no reason for me to go there. What would a reason be, I guess?
I'll tell you the reason. If you're trying to
Go
get a
to college here?
passport, and you can't get an appointment in Houston, Texas, they'll say, "There's one in El Paso. You want that one?" And you're like, "Guess I'm going to El Paso." Depends on how bad you need your passport.
How long does it take to get there?
It's a 9-hour drive, isn't it?
Oh, hell
Yeah.
no.
I go
And
to
you're
Destin
still
for the
in
same
Texas.
amount.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Number 1
thanks.
on the list for most affordable city to have a mid-range 3-course meal for 2 people is Fort Worth, Texas. It's $60 to get that meal there. $80 in Houston, $60 in Fort Worth. I bet it's tastier here.
Who wants to go there?
No, it's not bad. It's actually better than Dallas.
Is it really?
Fort Worth is cute.
Okay.
It's got like a little place with the stairs, and they bring them down the street and stuff. And now it's got an arena, so it's got concerts and stuff. Stuff's going all the way to Dallas to American Airlines Center. You can the Dickies. I think it's the Dickies. Is that the boots?
Dickies is
jeans-
also
jeans or
a big
something.
barbecue chain that's very popular there.
It's like,
Sounds boring.
And Dickies are also pants.
Yeah. Yes, it's a
You already got
brand.
your Dickies
pants.
on.
Yeah, I think it's
Brand.
Dickies brand.
Fort Worth and Dallas are looped together like Houston, Galveston, but it's an unfair game because Fort Worth is like legit huge versus Galveston. And they say the Houston, Galveston area versus the Dallas, Fort Worth area. But that's why Dallas makes it on so many big lists because they loop in Fort Worth's population with Dallas.
Yep.
And I feel like it's not a fair play. Because the Galveston population, I guess
not
I
like
should
it's-
look up
yeah.
what Galveston's population is. It's not like Fort Worth.
Yeah, what is Galveston? 100,000?
Let me look.
We've looked this up before,
Yeah.
and
Maybe
I
look
was
it up.
way off.
You thought it was like
I thought
200
it
or
was
300.
nearly a million. But
A million?
But Fort Worth does the radio tower hit Fort Worth and Dallas at the same time?
Yeah, I mean they get the
Well, then
same
let's
radio.
count it. And I think you can count it. Like
Yeah.
Galveston, we reached them. We got
You still don't have
Conroe.
anybody there. Compare it to Fort Worth.
361,744.
Wow.
Galveston?
Galveston?
Galveston.
And then that doesn't count the
And they only have one high school?
vacation people.
Maybe I was thinking a biker weekend when it turns into a million.
Yeah.
Fort Worth has
At least, what,
$978,468 as of
That's not
July
even
1st,
fair. That's a
2023.
whole million people they add to the Dallas facts.
Yeah, because they act
Yeah,
like
it's pretty
Dallas is so
crazy.
big. I'm like, yeah, you're counting Fort Worth.
That's almost a million people.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure it's a million
Right.
because that's the number they got. But you know, there's more than that. How many people didn't pay attention to the census? How much do you add for that? 20%?
Well, even that, like their sports teams play in Arlington, like
Right.
Cowboys and Rangers. That's why the Rangers are called Texas Rangers because they don't.
Not
get-
Dallas Rangers.
'Cause they don't play Dallas.
It's not It's the Arlington Rangers technically, and the Arlington Cowboys. That's what it is. This whole Houston Dallas thing. I know there's a rivalry, but Dallasites will say it's only Houston who has the rivalry.
Yes.
They do not have a
That's what
rivalry.
I've heard
Low
too.
key.
That's what I've heard.
Houston is the
Which
one
is
that
funny,
has
though,
a
like,
chip on their shoulder.
When I lived
about
in
it.
Dallas for 3 years, I hardly ever met anybody from Dallas.
Oh, really?
Like when I moved here,
But you were in radio, and radio is a world of transplants.
Yeah, but I meet people. I go out and I had to go
Well,
to
that's true.
Gators. I had to go all these places, but the majority of people, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people that move here. I guess they have a lot of
But
businesses.
couldn't you say the same about us, Eric?
Well, that's what I thought when I came here, but more
of all-
people, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people are like born and bred in Houston
Yeah.
versus Dallas. Dallas is a lot of transplants.
I don't understand why, because I know a lot of people here too that moved,
Mm-hmm.
but I've seen it. Dallas was tons of people. Maybe they have more companies there for oil and stuff.
Well, there's
Maybe.
also this whole phenomenon on the
I
East
thought we had all the
Coast.
gas and oil here.
Phenomenon. Boom.
Phenomenon. There's phenomenon on the East Coast when I moved there for
figured-
3 years to do radio. I had never met so many people in my life that had never left their city limits.
Yes. Welcome to Pennsylvania.
You're born and you stay there.
live there and you die there.
And little fun fact, Houstonians.
But you get out.
Let me tell you something.
I got out. I'm free.
Yeah, Houstonians who have never traveled to the East Coast for a long period of time, everything is so close there that the drive from Houston to Sugar Land is the drive from Pennsylvania to Delaware. Basically.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that.
yes.
You have moved states. There is, when I got on this bridge and it was telling me, welcome to New Jersey, I freaked out thinking, oh my God, but it's like going from here to the Galleria.
It's like that.
It's
It's insane.
so small.
Like my parents live in Harrisburg, and we call it across the river because you have to drive like 20 minutes, quote unquote, across the river to go into another like area. And we never did that. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm, not going,
that's far.
I'm not going across the river.
That's what shocks
20
me,
minutes.
Sam.
And then
You
when I
guys-
came down here, I was like, wait, it takes me like 30 minutes to get like to drive
Anywhere.
5 minutes.
You're driving an hour, you're still in Houston.
Yes,
You can
I was
see
shocked,
New
y'all.
Jersey from my dad's house.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying,
Insane.
Kev. That's why it blew my mind that
Yeah.
there were so many people that I was meeting that had
Insane.
never left their town. Because I go, what are you talking about? Your town is 20 minutes away from the next town. Like, you can say, I've been to
That's
5
too
states,
far.
and I couldn't drive 25 minutes.
What do they say?
It's
Well, we
too
have a
far.
Walmart. We have a pizza place. We don't need to go over
The
there.
biggest thing
Everything
that blew
is
my
really
mind,
close by.
I learned this from 5 hardcore Philadelphians when I had to do a promotion with Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin was singing in New York City at Madison Square Garden. And the radio station I worked for in Philadelphia had gotten a limo for 5 lucky listeners for me to go with the 5 lucky listeners to the Ricky Martin show and meet him and all these fun things. So, of course, I got to know them in the limo ride. The limo ride was an hour and 10 minutes. And 4 of the 5 people had never been to New York City.
Yeah.
Because it's a
you're like-
travesty to get up into New York City. It's always bad traffic,
Take
and it
the
costs you
train.
like $15.
You take the
That's right.
train.
That's true. Take the train, but you never think to do
But
that.
people are
Content?
scared
It's so
to do that.
close.
Yeah, very content,
You're just like,
scared, just happy doing their own thing.
Fear is
so.
a big driver on
I can be
that.
scared. Like I lived an hour and a half or hour 20 from Chicago on a farm, and people didn't go up there that much.
Well, I learned
because it's scary.
Chicago.
The traffic.
Eric,
for
I
people that
learned
don't know.
Chicago is scary from Adventures in Babysitting.
Yep, they made it look
When
scary.
Elizabeth Shue was like, "Oh my God, I have to drive into the city to the bus station,"
Oh, yeah.
and I was thinking, "Oh my God, that is so scary to drive to a bus station."
Well, that is scary. I don't care where you're at.
Right?
Point. That's a
It
great
can be
point.
scary because you don't know where you're going and it's just areas you're not used to.
That's a good point. So, $80 for a meal. Y'all kick me a restaurant name at 37530 if you'd like to tell me where you're getting a mid-range restaurant 3-course meal.
This is for dates, so it's not like you're going to just some hole in the wall that you love.
Right. Has to
Going
be
on
impressive.
a date to try and impress
Has to be impressive. Coming up next, we're going to do Look at Me Now. This is a great time for you to shine. At 713-390-KRBE, we give you a big Roula and Ryan Show high five because look at you now. Somebody at some point told you, nope, you'll never, you can't, you won't. Don't even try to dream that dream. It's way beyond your reach, but you did it. Look at you now. We'll talk to you next on the Roula and Ryan Show. Hosier on the Roula and Ryan Show. Too sweet on 104.1 KRBE. 713-390-KRBE. Now, here's what we're doing. It's summertime. So we're trying the summer 8 o'clock and the summer 7.
Yeah, try to flip things around.
It's the first real Monday of the summer for the Roula and Ryan Show, which means what to our everyday 8 o'clockers? You've got your 9 to 5. You're in the rat race. Summer does not affect you. You still go to work every day. But there's a large chunk of Houstonians who have shifted their schedule because they were teachers, administrators, kids, maybe parents who worked in schools and now school is out for the summer. So they're waking up later. So I feel like the 8 o'clock hour is not the same right now as it is during the school year. So summer 8 versus the summer 7.
Listening could be shifting. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
At 7, you could have less people, and then more than 8. It could be more. Who knows? I don't even know. That's why we just throw stuff out there, see what works.
Yeah, so
like we did
sometimes-
Undesired.
At 7.
Usually we do it in the 8 o'clock hour. We flipped it to 7, and we got some
Great
good calls
calls.
there, so that worked.
So usually we do Look at Me Now in the 7 o'clock hour, and we get people in a good mood on their way to their day, whether it was school or work or whatever it is. And we thought, well, let's flip-flop it and let's let the 8 o'clockers tell us their stories at 713-390-KRBE. Somebody told you that you can't, you won't, you'll never, but look at you now, you did it. Michael is up first. Good morning, Michael. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello. So tell us your story for Look at Me Now.
Okay, so it's kind of a sad story, but it turned out pretty good. So when I was 18, I was working for a logging company, and a tree fell on me and
gosh.
broke my back.
Oh, my gosh.
And yeah, so I've been paralyzed since I was 18. I'm 45 now, so it's been quite a while. But
Wow.
when I first got hurt, dude, I thought my life was over. I mean, to be honest with you, I could have told you a million ways to die. I mean, that's all I want to do. But after a couple of years of sitting there, a little bit of self-pity, because I quit high school, everything. But I went and I decided to go back, and I got my college degree, and ended up getting married. I have 2 beautiful kids, and
Gosh,
just living life now.
Oh,
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, where did you meet your wife at?
Through a friend. I mean, it just kind of at first she didn't like me at all. She, to be honest with you, she kind of couldn't stand me. But then, I wore her down, so it worked out.
That's my
I've been there. What? Now, you said you're paralyzed from where? Your waist?
Waist down?
Yes, sir. I can feel about mid-thigh or so.
A mid-thigh.
Oh, wow.
And you said the lowest lows you were thinking about, I'm just going to end my life. Like someone listening right now that's going through something, what do you want to tell those people listening right now that are just, they're done with
Think
everything?
You know that old saying, when you're going through hell, just keep going?
Yeah.
That's basically what I have to say. I mean, like I said, it was devastating at first. But, once I finally stopped and realized, hey, I'm still living, so.
At what age, Michael,
Let's go.
did you finally realize that there is, because look, I can totally relate to that. I think we all can. 18 years old, you feel like your whole life is ahead of you.
Yep.
Here you are working for a company. This tree falls on you, breaks your back, you're paralyzed. Now you're thinking, now what is the rest of my life is garbage. At what age were you when you realized, my life's not garbage. I can do other things. I can enjoy life and really just take hold of what I've got in front of me.
I was probably about 20 or so. And like I said, it was more so, I started hanging out with other people. Because at first I pretty much didn't leave the house. I just kind of shut off everything.
Well,
But
obviously depression
started
has to
hanging out
have
with some
set
friends.
in. Hopefully you got some kind of like mental help
Yeah, did you
for
get
that.
therapy
to,
and
No,
stuff?
honestly, I didn't. I just kind of kept everything to myself and just, nobody really knew how I was feeling. They could kind of tell a little bit, but, for the most part, try to put on a brave face.
But wait, Michael, hold on, Michael. Regarding that, nobody knew who you were feeling. That's one thing. But when you were in the hospital and they told you you're paralyzed, isn't there some kind of protocol with just in the medical field that, okay, this
maybe
is an 18-year-old
maybe not
male?
then. That was 20 years.
You're going to need some therapy to learn your new life, what your new life is.
Okay, so honestly, I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks trying to, after dealing with all the surgeries and stuff. And then a big shout out to Tier. It's like a rehab place downtown.
TIRR, Tier Memorial Hermann.
Yes, they are amazing. I sit there, and so I spent the next 2.5 months or so in there, basically learning how to live again. Learning how to get in and out of my chair, learning how to basically just even sit up. I mean, because at the time, I had a brace on. I had to have help sitting up, but they sit there and kind of taught me everything. And then once I kind of recovered, got the brace off, then I went back and tried to teach me how to get in and out of the kitchen, to get to things. I mean, they were great. I mean, honestly, I don't know what I would have done without them.
Right.
Did insurance pay for all that stuff, or did you get a settlement or anything?
To be honest with you, they didn't have any insurance or anything, so it was basically, yes, it was.
And speaking as someone who does DIY logging at my house, what words of caution would you give to someone who does like to
cut down
trees and do their own chainsawing?
Oh, just make sure you're always watching overhead, because honestly, the way it happened is because my job, I mean, I was young, so I was just starting out. So my job was to go along, and any trees were cut down, I would go along, cut all limbs off, cut them to length where we could load them up on the truck.
Yeah.
What would happen is somebody had cut one, it got hung up in the branches of another one, and then, as I'm going, just out of nowhere, down it came.
Oh, gosh, Michael. Well, listen, I really love that you called in for this. For those just tuning in the last 30 seconds, Michael called us for Look at Me Now. At 18 years old, he was paralyzed at work when you're working as a logger. That was the actual job, right? You're a logger. And he thought his life was over. And now he's married, 2 kids, living life.
What do you do for a living?
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, Michael, do you have a car? Can you drive yourself?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly on my way to work right now.
Yeah.
I work for Lone Star College.
Wow.
Awesome.
I'm a financial aid advisor, so
yeah.
They're looking to go to school. Come on out and see us.
My
super cool.
ex-wife's brother was paralyzed from the waist down, and he had on his car he had the gas and brakes were on his hand with his hands.
Steering wheel.
On the steering wheel.
So your car is specially outfitted through the dealer? Like you can request any kind of car and say, I'm paralyzed. Can you fix this for me? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple little hand control that kind of mounts underneath your dash, and it has a little bar that comes out to the side, and you push down for gas and forward for brake, and you're good to go.
I'm so curious. Can you tag me on Instagram at Radio Roula and show me a video of what your dash looks like? I'm so curious. I've never seen a car like that.
Yeah, I'll have to get it to you later, but
Gosh, Roula, look what you're asking the man to do.
Not right now.
He's already driving. Don't be
Later,
doing
you
that.
get to work and you look like you're working, but you're like, I'm on Instagram. Michael, thank you so much for calling our show. We just love your whole story. I'm so glad with your outlook, and I'm glad it worked out for you in the end. You really got through the hell. When you're going through hell, just keep going.
Keep going.
God bless you, Michael. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a wonderful day.
Take care, honey. Bye-bye.
Keep swimming.
Look at me now. Just keep swimming. Jasmine's up next at 713-390-KRBE. Hi, Jasmine. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hello. Tell us your story for Look at Me Now.
So it's hard to top that one.
That's okay. It's not about topping. It's about your own
personal experience.
Yes. So I was 16 years old, and my ex-stepmother was telling me that I would end up like her, 16 and pregnant, and then she would throw the Bible at me all the time. So
like literally she'd throw a Bible at you?
Or a verse?
Like the whole book?
That's what I thought.
No.
Like, ow. It really hurts. Ow. Okay, so she would quote Bible verses and scripture to you to make you feel like what? You're just...
Even though she was
projecting. She was projecting because she got pregnant.
Basically projecting. We did not have the best relationship. And she did have an older son. He was older than me, and that was her pride and joy. Now I'm 25, and he's almost 30. I'm the one that has a degree, and I'm getting my teacher certification, and I have a fiance. I've moved out. I've gotten a degree. I'm doing well while he's back at home struggling to fend for himself.
Yeah.
Which is no such to him, but I got out and he did not.
Yeah.
Look at
You
you
did it.
now.
Good for you, girl.
Maybe that
You're
was the
not
key.
16 and pregnant. You made a life for yourself.
No, I didn't have my daughter until I was 23.
Good for you.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you proved her wrong. And I know we've had a lot of
Yes.
people who were 16 and pregnant call us and say they made it, even though people thought they weren't. But for the sake of that,
Which
she
is
kept
wonderful.
pushing that on you. You're just going to get pregnant at 16 like me.
Not like it's like you don't want him to. You want him to be successful too, but
Yeah.
hey, you know, she was.
But she
mean
was
to
so
you.
focused on you being a failure, her own kid's a failure.
Yeah, she should have
Mm-hmm.
focused more on him.
And
I
you guys
guess.
may actually know my dad. He's D Petway. Y'all may know him.
D. Petway.
How would I know him?
Wait, the name? You said D.
He was a
Petway?
DJ Crash.
Oh, let's see if I know.
On a
Crash
radio
and Kelly?
station or
know Crash
in a
Kelly,
club? A radio station or a club DJ?
I think he did both.
Oh, DJ Crash. What years? What years? What years, Jasmine?
He DJ'd at Hush.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was 03.
That we know.
I was there at a P. Diddy
We
party.
know,
I try not to
we
say that
know.
anymore.
Yeah, we didn't know that was
Yeah,
not.
I used to brag about that.
That was Super
I was
Bowl
a host
time,
with P. Diddy.
2004.
That was a cool spot. It was one of the only other places besides maybe Rich's where the lighting would come up and down
Yeah, they
and move
spent some money
around.
on that
And
place.
that's where the bathroom was real cool.
You could see through to the other side.
You didn't know the bathroom to the other side was watching you check your makeup.
They're watching me.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
half the entertainment of that.
Wow. Well, Jasmine, thanks so much for listening to the Roula and Ryan Show. We really appreciate your story, and God bless you. Keep on
Thank
keeping
you.
on.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good day.
You too, honey. Happy
Okay,
Monday.
bye.
Take care. Look at you now.
Hush. That brought
713
back memories.
278-VENT. That's the Roula
What
and
is
Ryan
it
Show
now?
listener line. Yeah, what
Car
is-
dealership.
Is it a car dealership?
Or it was torn. It was either torn
I thought
down or it's a
everything.
car dealership.
For
Again.
those that don't remember, listen, going I-10 West to go to a club from downtown is like unheard of.
Oh yeah, Pen Oak.
But Hush
is what it
made
was.
people do it. Hush had people going there.
Yeah.
I mean, in that whole area,
They
they were
spent the
going there,
money.
and
There
then
was-
people would go from their area
They
to
spent the
Hush.
money, but
There
then
were
they let it
commercials,
go. Like you'd look at that light rig, and maybe the day one it had all the lights going. By like 6 months in, like half of them were out, and they never went up and replaced them, and it was all dusty and stuff.
Like, it's a
I
lot of
don't
money
know.
to have all these lights.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, wow,
that was a
money
shame.
on all these lights.
I can talk crap on them now because they're no longer in existence.
Let me find out. Oh, it's
Then
back
it was
off.
like, come on out to Hush, y'all, the best club on the west side.
The next thing he
And
gets-
then you're like, oh, Hush.
Oh, we have
Don't
tickets
talk
for the
about that.
for Hush coming up next. Oh crap!
Uh-oh. Coming up next, I'm going to tell you about something that a local Houstonian that you may know very well is doing, and it involves me.
DJ Crash.
No. It's
Oh.
a documentary. It's a
Yeah.
documentary. Why was I in a documentary? Why am I in a documentary? I'm going to give you some scoop on me next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Keep your radio right here
Time for your daily scoop. Roula and Ryan Celebrity Scoop.
on KRB.
All right, this celebrity scoop is going to be really about local media. It's not really celebrity, it's local media. If you are a longtime Houstonian, you may remember years ago on ABC 13, Wayne Dolcefino was an investigative reporter, and he really got after a lot of people. I always think of that cruise terminal, Eric. He did this whole thing about this cruise terminal that got built for millions of dollars and nothing was
empty?
happening in there. What's happening with the cruise terminal?
Is that the one they're using now, the Royal Caribbean? Because it's really nice.
I don't know, because I don't cruise, so I can't tell you if that's the one or
Carnival
not.
has one, and they kind of share it with other ships, but Royal Caribbean has their own. And man, you get on that ship fast.
Okay, well, good to know if I ever cruise.
But I always liked Wayne. I'm sure he has a lot of enemies out
He
there
does.
because he's speaking to the little guy,
Right.
taking on these big guys.
So here's what I want you to know. If you've ever had something that you feel like, I don't think anybody knows about this, but they need to know about it, and who's going to hear me? You can go to Wayne Dolcefino. He has a consulting company. It's Dolcefino Investigates. On YouTube, his channel is Dolcefino Media. Dolcefino Media, DOLCEFINO Media. And he contacted me, his group contacted me because they know that I went through hell a few years ago over a home build that I had to end up leaving my dream house. We lived in an apartment for 14 months. It was a lot of chaos on my family. We still are reeling from the chaos that ensued in our lives, and we had to leave our dream house because of a bad build, defect, and all that stuff. And mold was involved, and the M word. It's the M word. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people who've had that in their house are a whole different level of human, and people who've never had it in their house don't really understand it. And I'm not saying you're not being sympathetic. It's just, when you can't understand something, you kind of just tune it out.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, I feel bad for you. All right.
Yeah, and then when it happens to you, then you realize how deep it is and how far it goes and how deep it is with so many bad guys out there doing things like, because look, I don't know how to build a car, but I'm going to trust that when I bought it from the dealership, it's going to run on 4 wheels and it should not fall apart on me on an I-10. It's the same thing with your house.
Especially when you just bought it.
Right. You spend all this money to build the house that you want for your life. And then it falls apart, and you question, why is this thing happening? Why is that thing happening?
Put your family at risk for health.
Put your family at risk. You can't figure out why people are sick or why this is happening, that happening. Anyway, Dolce Fino Investigates contacted me to be part of the story for Is Your Home Killing You? And it is a very quick, like, how many minutes is this? Like a 20-minute, 30-minute... Actually, it's not even. It's like 9 minutes.
Yeah,
it's 9
the
quick
YouTube
minutes.
one I found.
I feel like it was 30 because you're so much research to get this done. It's a 9-minute YouTube video. I really urge all of y'all to watch, because if you plan on one day building your own house or buying a brand new house and you're thinking, well, it's a brand new house, it's so great. These are the questions you have to ask, because there is a very sinister thing happening in our state that people don't realize until they watch this or it happens to them, that home builders do not want mold investigators to exist. When you find that there's mold in your house, they don't want you to know that it's bad. Oh, it's fine. The spore levels aren't that big. It's fixable.
And then, if I hear anything about mold spores, I'm like,
right.
Yeah.
Is there one in there? That's enough for me.
Yeah, they do this whole story on this family that really was turned upside down. A lot of people who had mold in their house end up figuring out how to remediate it if they can, and they stay in the house, because buying a house is not cheap. And have you ever put a down payment on a house before? That's why it really scares so many people, like, oh my gosh, how much money do I have to have for that? And so this is the thing that you've built your whole life for. So please watch Is Your Home Killing You by Dolce Fino Media. I was in it about my situation. And one note about my situation, when I sued my home builder, the way this works is the home builder then tries to sue every sub that built your house. And I'm going to give a special shout out to Brian Whitlock from Cypress Custom Pools. We've talked about him before. He's advertised with the radio station before. This is a good, solid businessman who builds fantastic pools. He built my pool at my dream house, and he was completely separate from my build with the builder that I sued. They never interacted. They never knew each other. Brian Whitlock was my personal friend, and I said, I'm going to build a brand new house, and I want you to do the pool. Well, when I ended up suing my home builder, that home builder listed Brian Whitlock as a defendant, like in the lawsuit. Like, you're a bad guy, too.
Trying to take everyone.
He just tried, and I'm like, what? He has nothing to do with mold. He has nothing to do with foundation. Why are you putting him in there?
That's when you just grab everybody and you try.
He grabbed everybody. So it cost Brian money just to say, I have nothing to do with this.
Yikes.
You know what I mean? And I really felt bad for that, because he had nothing to do with my lawsuit, but he was in it. And, that affects a lot of people. So I just, he's a really good, solid man who builds fantastic pools. Brian Whitlock from Cypress Custom Pools. And I really felt sorry that he had to go through that and spend his own money to basically hire attorneys to say, I have nothing to do with this house lawsuit. It's Dolce Fino Media. Is Your Home Killing You? It is a 9-minute YouTube video that will blow your mind if you are ever thinking of buying a brand new build or you are custom building yourself. Please do the research on what the mold means.
What would you tell people if, say, they're buying a house right now and they're going to have they want somebody to look at it? You know how they check for everything else, for air ducts, that you get a mold expert? Or do you always have that? Is that part of the deal? What would you...
You have to dig deeper than the average home inspector, because the average home inspector, when they're testing for mold, they just put like a little pot on the countertop and they see what's like in the air. And you don't really get a right reading from that. If there was what's called water intrusion, that's what I learned. Insurance companies, it's water intrusion. What does that mean? Water came in your house, right? Water intrusion. When there's water intrusion that caused mold, you won't really necessarily find that behind the walls unless you do like a deep inspection. And people are like, oh, how much does that cost? Like $3,000? I don't want to spend that. Well, okay, well, you can spend $3,000 on the real thing, or you're going to spend $300,000 losing your house. Which one is cheaper for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it really is about the money for now. People are like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It just sucks though. But if you buy like a $180,000 house, $250,000, you're like, $3,000 I could be using for a deposit.
I'm saying $3,000 on average. I think it's relative to the size of the house.
Okay.
It's relative to the size of what you're trying to to test. So I Is Your Home Killing You by Dolcefino Media. It really riled it all up for me again when I did that interview. I was like not okay for like 3 days.
Oh man,
I was so mad.
I said the video. Are you crying in this video?
Yeah, I'm crying because the man lies to your face. You see mold. He has pictures of my daughter's bathroom. The mold came through the wallpaper in her room. And I was told that's homeowner maintenance. How the hell is that homeowner maintenance? So anyway, I know a lot about this, and I wish I didn't know a lot about it, but that's what I was going through for the last 3 years. And this home builder just continues on, and I don't think people get excited when they see pretty things, and they don't know the sinister behind the walls. So Is Your Home Killing You, Dolcefino Media. Find it on YouTube. And thank you, Brian Whitlock, for being a solid guy.
That should be the title, Killer Behind the Walls.
Yeah.
This stuff,
sinister.
Stuff made your life hell for 3 years.
It really did. My kids were sick. We were sick. We didn't even know we were sick. I didn't know what happens when you take Benadryl every night. We didn't have a house. I used to tell that's why we got Charlie Girl. I was like, guys, when we get a house again one day, I promise we'll think about getting a dog. I ended up getting the dog before we got the house because my kids just needed some smiles.
Need a win.
We needed a win, Eric. That's exactly right. We needed a win. Is Your Home Killing You? Dolcefino Media. Please watch that. 9 minutes.
Are you able to say the builder's name in that video, or no?
It's public record if y'all want to go ahead and look it up.
Because people are asking, but...
It's public record. Just look up my name. Public record. Anyway, okay, so coming up next, did you miss what happened on Roula and Ryan's Roses update? Wow, well, last week Steve thought his girlfriend Melissa was messing around with his dad, but there was a twist. It wasn't the dad. You will hear it all next on the Roula and Ryan Show.